Hi guys, I'm Termeyy, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll show you how to make the beat for Thank God by Travis Scott. This beat was made by Travis Scott, Kanye West, Books the Beast, FNZ, Aller Ritter and Wonder Girl. First thing, I want to thank one of my subscribers. His name is Top Secret, with the 3 instead of the E in the word secret. His name on Instagram, it's LaFlame, is the one that sent me the original loop. And I also want to thank Koiba Beats, that is the one that made the loop. He was open to make a breakdown of this melody, but he didn't find the project file in his old computer. So let's start with the breakdown. First thing, we got this melody. They took it from Koiba's Looperman profile. It's called Trapper Bells and is a melody from 2018. They just chopped the first 2 bars and then they pitched down by octave the last note. I will pitch it up to avoid the copyright strikes. The melody was pitched up by 50 cents, not the rapper. So the second sound is this distorted bass. I made it using a layer of 2 different sounds. One is this 808 that I clipped using the sampler. And the second one is a bass that I made in Serum. I'm using a saw wave and a square wave with 4 unison, a little bit of detune, the white noise, the filter moving in this way to create that pluckiness. A lot of distortion, EQing, a little bit of beat crushing. On the whole layer I've got a camel crusher, Saturn, the decimort for the beat crushing, and then an EQ. With this bass, they're just playing the root note of the melody, so A sharp. Let's quickly break down the music theory for the melody. It's just playing around the tonic chord of the scale, so A sharp minor. For the top melody, we have the bell playing the 3rd, the root note, the 5th, the suspended 2, the augmented 5th or the minor 6th, and then the root note again. For the lower notes, we have a pluck with a delay that is playing the root note of the chord, the 5th, the augmented 5th or minor 6th, and then the root note again. Then to create some variation, they're adding another bass from the 9th bar on. As always, I made it using Serum, 2 saw waves, and this weird sine wave that I modified using this wavetable editor to create this type of sound. As you can hear, the bass without it sounds like this. I'm using a little bit of unison and detune, the filter, closing in this way, and then I have a lot of distortion, chorus, reverb, and an EQ that is boosting the A sharp on the higher octave, because this bass sounds like this, because this waveform here has an harmonics of an octave, so it's playing the A sharp on the lower octave and an octave or 2 higher. As you can see, I'm also using the sync modulation to add these octaves. Then we have this background synth playing the 3rd and the suspended 2. It's just 2 triangle waves played on 2 different octaves. A little bit of filter, chorus and reverb. Then after 8 bars they are switching to a sine pluck and a whistle. So we have this granular type pluck with a lot of delay. It doesn't sound the same, but it was so difficult to achieve this type of sound. So I just made a sine pluck. I'm just using 1 wave, a little bit of noise, and then I have the hyper distortion delay that is activated by this LFO just on the first note that I'm playing, then the cutoff, reverb, EQ. So it's a really simple pluck and I'm just playing the A sharp. Then we have this whistle. I made it using this plugin that is called Whistler. This plugin is based on the classic white noise and filter resonance combo. So they are just boosting a lot the resonance to create this classic whistling sound. I'm also layering it with this Omnisphere preset and this one shot here. They're just playing the chord from the 5th to the root note. And then on the 2nd bar, they're also adding a suspended 4. After 8 bars, they're switching back to the bass synth combination. And they're also adding this vocal chop. It's not the same as the original song, but it sounds similar. They're playing the F, so the 5th of the chord, and I'm using a delay and the alter boy to modify the performance. Then we have the switch up to the bridge. They're using this bass. The progression is a 1, 3, 6, 5 in the A sharp minor scale. For this bass, as always, I use Serum. So we have this really simple bass made out of square wave, played on 2 different octaves. I have this noise that is giving a little bit of punch in the attack, a sine sub -1 octave, filter with a lot of resonance to boost the mids, and then a lot of distortion, flanger, chorus, and EQ always pushing the mids. Then we have the synth brasses. I'm using Omnisphere with this preset. Polymoog Dream Brass. It's just a stack of saw waves from the Moog and this synth here with a filter that is adding a little bit of delay on the attack. For these brasses, I'm using a Fab Filter EQ, the Decimort cutting a little bit of the hikes, and then the Valhalla Supermassive with this preset. They're playing these chords. I'm not sure about the voicings because you can't really hear them. So we have the A sharp minor chord with a third inversion. Then we have the C sharp major 7 chord. Then we have the F sharp major chord. And then at the end we have the F suspended 4 chord and the F major chord. They took it from the harmonic minor scale. As you can hear, they are creating tension with the suspended chord and then they are releasing it with the major chord. Then we have this harpsichord. I think they're playing just the tonic chord for the whole pattern to add some tension in the background, but I'm not sure because, as I said, you can't really hear what are the layers doing in this bridge. So I'm using this preset from Omnisphere, the 70s harpsiverb. I just disabled the first sound. Then I have this preset from the Mini V3, the APU2. This sound I'm just playing the F. And then I made this really simple preset in Serum. On the whole layer I added some chorus and reverb. Then we have the strings playing in the background. Always creating tension with the tonic chord. I'm using this preset from Omnisphere, the Orchestron Violins. And I think they're using the crystallizer from the Sound Toys to add some texture on the higher octave. Then we have the top melody played with a brass. They're playing the suspended 2, the 3rd, the suspended 4 and the 5th. They're creating a lot of tension with this ascending feeling. For this layer I'm using Serum with a classic brass that I made. As always, the trick is using saw waves with a little bit of detune and the filter with a little bit of delay on the attack. Then I'm using Xenology with these French horns. And then I have this layer from Analog Lab. And I just applied some reverb, a lot of reverb and EQ. The reverb is really useful in this part because it helps to create that bigger feeling, big ethereal pad feeling in the bridge. For the bass, they are cutting the lows for the first 3 notes. Then we have a bass drop. I made it using Serum. It's just a classic sine wave with an envelope going down on the chorus. Then we have the harp. As always, they are playing with the tonic chord and they're adding the suspended 2 on top. For this harp, I'm using a triangle saw and a pulse wave, I think, a narrow square maybe. A little bit of detune, unison, distortion, flanger, phaser, reverb, EQ. To introduce this switch up, they're using the classic reverse reverb effect. To achieve this effect, I just put a really big reverb on the master and then I recorded the first second of the bridge and then I just reversed it. As you can see, I have an automation clip on the crystallizer mix towards the ending of this bridge. After the bridge, we have this incredible violin switch. I really love this part of the beat. So we have this piano, I used Expand. They are just arpeggiating the A sharp minor chord. As you can see, on the lower notes, we have the A sharp, so the root note. And then for the arpeggio, they are playing the 5th. On the 2 and the 4, on the 1 and the 3, we have the A sharp, that is the root note, and the C sharp, that is the 3rd. The violin, I'm using this bank from Contact, the emotional violin. I'm using the bright decrescendo articulation and I'm layering it with this string from Expand. For this violin, the melody is really simple. They are playing the suspended 4, the 3rd, the suspended 2 and then the root note. For the effects, I have this plate reverb, sketch cassette, EQ, and then the sound shifter shifting around 20 to 30 cents. Then moving to the drums, we have this drum fill, the kick, playing on the 1 and the 4 and then on the 4 again on the second bar. The 808, just playing the root note and the 6th note of the scale. We have this triple hit on the third beat, and then as you can see on the fifth bar, they're also switching the pattern and they're adding some notes. In the background, I'm also playing the string layer from the bridge. You can't really hear it, but in the background there is also a bass supporting the 808. For this bass, I made this really simple patch in Serum. At the end of these 8 bars, they're also creating this transition using these sounds. For the piano, I also have a layer with the classic Omnisphere piano playing this power chord of the A sharp minor chord. Then we have the snare on the third beat. Simple two-step hi-hats. Triplets at the end. And then as you can see, they are creating more bounce, deleting some notes. Then I think we have like a white noise on this snare. And then these snares in the background. So this is the final result. Then after 16 bar, they're switching again. This time they're also switching mode, so they're moving from the A sharp minor to the D sharp Dorian. They're playing a 1-4-5 progression. In the minor scale, it's just a 4-7-1. So you can see it in both ways. For the pluck, I'm using this preset from the OBXA from Arturia. I think I modified the filter and the attack. As you can see, they're playing an inversion of the D sharp minor chord. They're playing the 5th on the lower octave, and they're also using a suspended 2. Then we have the G sharp major chord with a suspended 4, and then the A sharp minor chord with a suspended 4 and a suspended 2. On this sound, I have a little bit of delay, and EQ, and reverb. Then we have these textures in the background. I took them from Omnisphere, and then we have this brass playing this melody. I used this simple patch that I made in Serum, mixed with the Xenology French horns. Then for the last 16 bars, we have the 808 coming in. We add some rhythm. And then at the end, I have some risers. And another delay activating on the pluck. For the bass, I made a really simple Moogie bass patch in Serum, just playing the root note. Two saw waves played on 2 different octaves and filter, boosting the resonance. And then finally we have the outro. They're using the first bass and the first melody to create these transitions. And then they're playing some synth chords. I'm using this preset from Omnisphere and then this preset of strings from the CS80. For the outro, they're switching from the Dorian to the Lydian scale. So the first chord in this case is the F sharp major chord. The progression is a 1-3-6-3 in the Lydian scale. So they're playing the F sharp major chord. Then they're playing the A sharp power chord with a suspended 4 sliding to the 5th. Then we have the D sharp minor 7 chord. And then at the end we have the A sharp suspended 2 chord. At the start of the outro you have some white noises. That's all for this video, smash a like and subscribe if you liked it. I will leave all my link in the description if you want to support me. I have a Patreon page where I upload all the FLPs from my remakes, BeatStars if you want to check out my beats or drum kits, and Instagram if you want to follow me. Bye and see you in the next video.